Hi everyone, we didn't finish a code example that I started in class that was really getting you started on your homework assignment, the Photoshop homework assignment. And so I wanted to just make this quick video to finish that up for you so you could see it this weekend and not wait for class on Monday to finish that up. So what we're implementing is an image filter effect that is a little bit simpler than the ones you'll actually be doing on the assignment, but we're doing it here inside the starter code for the Photoshop assignment, so you'll see how we interact with the G buffered image and the G window and the other parts of how this Photoshop assignment is structured. So it'll be a template example that you can use for implementing the filter effects that you're actually doing on the assignment. So you don't need to include this one, but it will be a good example. So what we're doing is this flip vertical, and it's going to take an image and then just flip vertical, make kind of the mirror image upside down. So, so this is the function prototype. It doesn't need to return anything. It takes, by reference, a G-buffered image, and we just called it do flip vertical. So I copied that function prototype down here, and I wrote some comments structuring what we're going to do to accomplish this. And these comments show the template of what you'll be doing in your image filter effects as well. So step one will always be to convert the G-buffered image to a grid. The point of this assignment really is to work on these abstract data types, the ADTs that we're learning about, including grid. And so we'll want to do all the work in grid, and that will be exercising your ADT skills. And then only as kind of a side effect of that will be updating the image. So let's go ahead and make the original. We're going to get that from image to grid. So G-buffered image has this function toGrid that exports the data that represents that image as a grid of integers. And then we want to make another one that we'll use as the workspace, where we're going to go ahead and make this copy. We want it to have the same dimensions as the original. So we're going to say original num rows is the number of rows that this thing has, and original num calls is the number of columns that this thing has. And so so now we have the data in grid form, and we want to go ahead and do the flip. So we're going to do a for loop. Let's say int row equals 0 and row less than original num rows. We could do original or flipped because they have the same number of rows. And then we're going to loop also over the columns. And we will do that. Okay, so now we're looping over every single int, which is every single pixel in this image, and we want to do something to it. What do we want to do it? We want to move it somewhere else. So the flipped version is going to receive the data from some pixel in the original version. And because we're flipping vertical, if a pixel was in column n, then it will end up in column n. It's really the row location that is going to change. So if it was in row, then it should now be in the mirror image of that, which is going to be original num rows minus 1, of course, because the rows are numbered 0 through num rows minus 1. Minus row, and that's all we need to do to write the flipped data to this grid that's called flipped. Now we need to update this G-buffered image to show the data that is in flipped instead of the data that is in original, and there is an app for that, or a function for that, and it is from grid. So we have a call to toGrid up here, and then to do the reverse transformation we have from grid, and so we're just going to send that flipped, and that will be enough to update what we see in the G window. So there's no need to re-add this image to the G window or anything like that. This call will update what we see. So let's come up here and actually call this function that we're using. So you can see I added the code to call it here. We are asking the user, say, click anywhere on the image in order to indicate that you would like to now flip it. So this collects that mouse click from the user, and then we call the function that we just wrote on the gbuffered image, and then we are going to say, okay, go ahead and click to indicate you're ready to quit, and we collect that mouse click from the user, and that's our signal that it's time to clear the window and end the program. So let's see if this thing worked. And there's our greeting, welcome to Photoshop. There's the kitten image, and it says click to flip, so we just click anywhere here on the kitten, and the kitten flips, and then it says click to quit, so we click again, and we're quit.